Now, a lot of people, when it comes to the manager, are saying, okay, yes, he won the Premier League, but did he actually win the Premier League? He came in, he took over from one of the most successful managers that Liverpool have ever had in Klopp. Klopp was the only Liverpool manager to win the Premier League, the FA Cup and the European Cup, according to my Gemini. So fact check me if that's wrong, but that sounds like a pretty big deal to me. So he's definitely one of, if not the most successful Liverpool manager, certainly in modern times. So there were big shoes to fill. Slot has come in, the team was already in full momentum, the team was already in place, they already knew what they were doing. He made very little change to what Jurgen Klopp had done prior to him, and they went on and they won the Premier League. And so there's people out there saying it's not actually that he won, he was more like a caretaker manager, and he basically just kept them on the track that they were already on, and they continued over the line using the momentum that Klopp had already given them. Therefore, Slot gets minimal credit for that. Now, I understand that thinking, and I don't think it's fair to completely dismiss it out of hand. However, there are plenty of people out there saying, well look, we could have got somebody in who would have made loads of tweaks, who wouldn't have understood the importance of continuing the project that was already in place and getting it over the line, and there may have been, just an absolute capitulation before they won the Premier League. So there's people saying, no, well, he was the guy in place, he was the guy that got it over the line, it's his Premier League, he deserves the credit for that. Then we go back to the other side, the people that are saying, well, when he started to implement his actual structure, when he started to implement his actual tactics, when he started to make actual changes and changed away and moved away from what Klopp was doing, that's when these problems started. So that tells us actually he's not a very good manager, because his tactics aren't working, he's being stubborn with them, he doesn't have the players to suit that, the players don't understand it, and if the players don't understand it, he's obviously not a very good coach, because he's not communicating it and coaching his players well to understand his system. We have had this problem again at Manchester United. We have Ruben Amorim, who has a very specific system, a very specific style of play, a very specific setup, and for a long time our players looked like they didn't know what they were doing, they didn't know what was being asked of them, they looked absolutely confused, and they probably would have done better if they just didn't have a manager and could just go on and play, because they'd be playing a way that they're comfortable with and that they understand. So when the Liverpool fans are saying this, I completely understand where they're coming from and the frustration.